Then it is a clear day, I recall, and the channel is beautiful, but there's quite a bit of wind and the seas were choppy. We went topside. You'd get cold though in a few minutes. That wind was pretty strong, and we could see our escort vessels in the distance. Sometime during the afternoon, we'd had a general quarters, or we went to our abandoned ship stations, and that didn't last too long. Then we hear depth charges, and you feel the ships would shake just a wee bit, not much. They were too far off for us to feel impact, I guess. But we knew there were some subs out there, and the crew on this ship was Congolese, and some Belgium, and the British manned the anti-aircraft guns. That night, I was in my hammock. I still had my life preserver on. I guess it gets dark pretty early on the English Channel, and it's almost dark, and I hear that explosion. Seemed like the ship jumped up and down a time or so, and things were rattling, and the general alarm went off, and we went to our abandoned ship station, and we stood there, and some of the boys hummed "That Is Christmas Eve," and some of the boys were singing Christmas carols, and they was very orderly, no panic. That outfit is well disciplined. I saw one of the escort vessels, the HMS Brilliant, pulled alongside, and he tried to get a line across so he could back his engines down, and that'd make the ships come together. And a couple of British sailors jumped over on the troop transport, and we didn't know what a bollard was, being soldiers, and you've got a couple on the bow of the ship. The crew, when that submarine hit, they lowered, well, I guess you'd say they did desert. We didn't get no orders to abandon ship, or somebody said they finally gave an order, but it is in Flemish, and some of us didn't hardly speak English. But I eventually, where one of the lifeboats, I guess, had been lowered, and the carriage that lowers the thing, they have steadying lines on them, so you could, if you're too close to a ship, the ship, you could push out if you needed to, and I swung over on HMS Brilliant. I landed back of the bridge, someplace between the bridge and stern section, and I like froze to death. I didn't have no head cover, and just had a field jacket. several had jumped before me, and below decks they had they were already crowded, but they managed. That ship sank slowly, and they shouldn't have been a great loss of life. It should have been restricted to the compartment where the torpedo hit. There's general confusion we had almost 800 people that perished on that ship, and they shouldn't have been, to my mind, over 350 or casualties. But I wasn't in charge, and I'm not sure anybody really was. I'd heard some people say that the skipper seemed to be in a daze. He might have had a little cognac or Christmas cheer, I suppose. Anyway, I didn't think he done his duty. Or part of the crew, though, was very helpful. They all didn't desert, but some of them, I guess, went beyond the call of duty. Some of them followed the rules of the sea, and a lot of them didn't. We were inside of Cherbourg, and I rode the deck of that thing, and the British sailors were very nice. One of them handed me a bowl of soup, and that's the best soup. Ice cold, and that is the best soup I ever had in my life. I'd like to have the recipe. When we pulled away from seeking transport, the bow of the ship was riding a little higher out of the water than they normally would. I expect the stern section as a compartment was flooded, and the bow was raising up, and our company commander was a very cool gentleman, and he's well respected. And before I left the ship, he said, "Man, when you get in the water, swim away from the side of the ship." And thank goodness I'm a pretty poor swimmer. Experts didn't get off the ship, and expert swimmers and non-swimmers become first-class swimmers.